Space is just one of those things, right? It's so unbelievably vast, so mysterious, and it's filled with facts that can completely shatter the way you see reality. Today, we're going to dive into some of the most mind-bending truths about our universe, things you probably didn't know.
Okay, let's start with a classic sci-fi scenario. What if, right this second, our sun just collapsed into a black hole? Now, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? We'd all get instantly sucked in, right? A giant gravitational vortex. Game over for everyone. Well, the truth is a lot weirder than that. Here's the crazy part. Gravitationally speaking, almost nothing would change. No, really. We wouldn't get sucked in at all. Our orbit around that new black hole would be perfectly identical to our orbit around the sun right now, because the mass is exactly the same.
I mean, just look at the scale of this. A black hole with all the sun's mass would only be about 3 kilometers wide. For a full 8 minutes and 20 seconds after it collapsed, we wouldn't have a clue that anything had even happened. Then, poof, the light would just switch off. So the real danger isn't getting sucked in. It's being plunged into instant, permanent darkness and the catastrophic deep freeze that would follow. Okay, so that's a pretty wild thought experiment. But let's bring things a little closer to home, because our own planet is the stage for some equally mind-bending what-ifs. You've probably seen those scary headlines, right? Physicists create a black hole at CERN. Earth is in danger. It sounds like the plot of a disaster movie. So could we actually do it? And if we did, should we be, building our bunkers? Yeah, this is where Hollywood and reality really part ways. A lab-made black hole wouldn't be some kind of planet-eating monster. If we could even create one from a kilogram of mass, its event horizon, the point of no return, would be a trillion times smaller than a single proton. It would be so minuscule it couldn't affect anything, and it would evaporate almost instantly. So yeah, you can cancel the bunker. All right, here's another classic for you. Let's just imagine we could dig a frictionless, vacuum-sealed tunnel from one side of the Earth straight through to the other. You put on a special suit to handle the insane heat of the core, and you jump in. What would that journey actually be like? So as you fall, gravity pulls you toward the center, and you accelerate faster and faster until you actually break the sound barrier. But the moment you pass the core, that same gravity starts pulling you back, acting like a brake. And the physics is it's beautiful. You decelerate at the exact same rate you accelerated. You would just pop out on the other side of the planet with zero velocity, perfectly still, able to just grab the edge and step out. And the total travel time for this 12,000-kilometer trip? Get this, just 38 minutes. Can you imagine that for your daily commute? All right, enough about Earth. Let's head out of our solar system and take a tour of the galactic zoo, where some of the universe's absolute strangest inhabitants live. You have to meet this planet. It's one of my absolute favorites. It's an exoplanet orbiting so close to its star that the immense heat and pressure acting on the carbon there may have created a core made of pure diamond. But you'd never see it sparkle, because its thick methane clouds absorb 94% of all light, making it possibly the darkest planet ever discovered. And if that wasn't weird enough, its star's gravity is literally pulling it into the shape of an egg and will completely tear it apart in about 3 million years. So these bizarre objects are one thing, but honestly, just the sheer scale of the universe and the nature of time itself, that can be even harder to wrap your head around. Just take a look at this. This is part of the largest image the Hubble telescope has ever taken. It's a shot of our neighboring galaxy, Andromeda. It shows over 100 million individual stars. Every single one of those tiny dots is a sun just as big and bright as ours, probably with its own family of planets. It really makes you realize just how tiny we are. But now, imagine the total opposite. If we could transport you to the deep intergalactic void, that huge emptiness between the galaxies, and you looked around, you would see nothing. No stars, no light. Just pure, absolute, terrifying blackness in every single direction. Okay, this next one might be the single coolest facts I have ever learned. Time travel isn't just science fiction, it's a fundamental property of our universe. Because light travels at a finite speed, looking out into space is literally the same as looking back in time. So let's get crazy with this. If aliens with a super powerful telescope were looking at Earth from 100 light years away, they wouldn't see us now. They would see World War I happening in real time. From 65 million light years away, they would be watching dinosaurs roam the Earth.
And this isn't a recording. For them, that is what is happening on our planet right now. For all its vastness, we humans have begun to leave our own strange little marks on the cosmos. Hey, remember when SpaceX launched that Tesla Roadster into space back in 2018? Well, it is still out there. It's in its own orbit around the sun, and by now it's traveled far enough to have driven every single road on Earth over 70 times. And if the battery is still working, its mannequin driver, Starman, has heard David Bowie's Life on Mars on a loop hundreds of thousands of times.
Speaking of leaving things behind, the Apollo astronauts left a lot of stuff on the moon. We're talking tools, cameras, boots, and yes, 96 bags of astronaut poop. Now, it might sound gross, but there was a really good reason for it. Every kilogram of waste they left behind was another kilogram of precious moon rocks they could bring back for scientists to study. A worthwhile trade-off, I think.
But maybe our most profound mark is this picture right here. In 2013, the Cassini spacecraft turned its cameras back towards us from millions of miles away. It was the first time people on Earth actually knew their photo was being taken from deep space, and people all over the world went outside to wave. In this cosmic family photo, that is us, that pale blue dot. Everyone you've ever known, everything that has ever happened, all on that one tiny speck. It really puts things into perspective, doesn't it? If our entire world, our entire history, is just a single pixel in a cosmic photograph, then what does that make all the things that we stress and worry about every single day? It's something to think about.